Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF, bringing you episode 1 of what's going to be a new Let's Try here on the channel. So we're going to be taking a look at a game that, I've had for a while, but I never really gave it a strong look. I've kind of known about it and thought it was pretty cool, but recently checking it out again, kind of going through some older games in my list and checking it out a little bit and being like, oh man, like I fell in love with it. This game is super cool. There's a lot going on under the hood that's sort of like obscure in a JRPG kind of way, but it's very much like the games Brigadine, if you guys are familiar with that one, or stuff like that. And it's really unique and really cool. So I wanted to take a look at it. We're going to be doing the tutorial in this first episode. Should cover the whole tutorial. But yeah, we're going to be delving in a bit. Now, I haven't really played past the tutorial. I have played about 5 to 10 minutes of the story mode just to see the intro and stuff. And it is super awesome. It's got like sort of an old school, really detailed anime kind of look to it, to the art style. Like the art style is really great. And it's just super cool. It's high fantasy and there's a lot of different races and stuff like that. So without me just yammering on here, let's go ahead and dive into it. This is episode 1 of Let's Try Lost Technology by Playism. And this was translated from a Japanese game, I think. Okay, wait, we have to see what's up with the window here. It should, if we hit normal, let's go to system. If we hit normal game and then tutorial, it should play in full screen. No, it didn't. Okay. All right. Let me try to alt enter. 1 second, guys. Be right back. Okay, so if I start it from Steam, we can pick full screen here. So this should be good. I hope it records it. This might be audio only. That would be bad, but hoping that, OBS records things. But let's hit normal game. And if we select the scenario prologue birth, that's going to jump us into the story mode, and we get to choose our faction and stuff like that there. But also what came to my attention was there was different modes that you can actually play. Free mode, which is a simple simulation style. There's random scenario. There's Dungeon Master, where you clear dungeons in a hack and slash type scenario. And that's pretty wild. You recruit an army and you hack and slash through dungeons, trying to clear all 100 floors. And there's actually like loot that you can equip. Like you can equip your characters with weapons and armor, and super cool. I didn't even know that existed when I first got this game, but we're going to be looking at the tutorial today. This is a simple explanation and demonstration of the controls. Please play on easy mode. Well, I guess we could go back and hit easy mode to do the tutorial. Let's check it out. It says select Agnes Empire. Left click on any territory with a flag to select a faction to play. So normally you'd see all the factions and you can select them. But for the tutorial, we just have to select the Agnes Empire at the Imperial Capital, Ortigia. Okay, they're human. And you get this awesome artwork for like each character. There's a ton of characters in the game. I think over 100 or 200 maybe. But they're all unique characters. This is the Empress. Agnes is a human, level 1 fire mage. Click the OK button to select the faction. They're quote-unquote the ideal nation. This faction is for use of the scenario in this tutorial. It'll show how many territories, their income, their funds, and their count of units, but just for the tutorial, we don't really have a choice, so let's hit confirm. Are you sure? Yes. And here we go. See, this is the problem with playing in full screen mode. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to have to actually play. One second. All right, I'm back. So we're going to have to play in this mode. I may edit the video to kind of get a better to get a full screen angle, because look at, even when you try to hover over things, you have to go a little underneath them, which is annoying. But anyway, let's jump in again. Yeah, you have to really get under the buttons. That is okay. Let's confirm, and now we can see the dialogue. Welcome, says the guide. I'll be your guide for this game of war and politics. And thank you for downloading Lost Technology. What's downloading, you ask? I like your inquisitive spirit. You'll go far. This is a tutorial for those unfamiliar with the ways of global conquest. What are manuals and explanation videos, you ask? You're sure to ask a lot of questions. Anyway, let's get right to explaining the basics. First off, regarding the game's major modes. Faction mode, as leader of your faction, unify the continent under your rule. This is the main mode and follows the drama of certain characters. Ally mode, help unify the continent in service of your faction. There's no dramatic story to distract you from unification. I think that's also free mode. Now, I'll guide you through conquering a few territories. To do battle, you'll need military power. In other words, you must recruit troops. So we're going to use up as much of our funds as possible to recruit troops. Don't worry, it's easy. There's only 4 steps. Click on a territory where a unit of yours is stationed. In this case, Imperial Capital Ortigia, where Agnes is stationed. Click on the unit you want to recruit with, in this case, Agnes. Click Recruit within the character's displayed character window. Click on the displayed troop icons to expend funds and recruit them. Recruit as many troops as your funds allow. End your turn by selecting End on the panel that will appear on the lower right. Once you do, we'll move on to the next lesson. Alright, so this is how you normally recruit troops. We're going to click here. We do have some troops here. I don't want to left click them right now. Let's just click Agnes. And you get sort of like an overview. There's a lot of stats and cool stuff. Different techniques they have. Different skills. Fire magic. And Imperial staff for healing. Tells you how strong and everything it is. Unfortunately, in the story mode and stuff where you're unifying the continent, you can't really play with the equipped items. That's a bit of a bummer, because I know in Brigadine you can, but still, it's still a very cool game. So she hovers. She's a fire mage female. You can see the XP. She's a master. Trust is 100. We'll get into that, I guess, and her different stats. But let's click recruit. And right now we can recruit fire mages for 100. You can see their stats. Imperial foot soldier recruits. You can see what they're about. And you can recruit male Imperial cavalry recruits for 200. And everybody has different stats and what they do. But as soon as we click this, we're going to recruit. Oh, I just recruited. What did I do? I just recruited like 8 fire mages. But let's continue and just recruit some. Let's get some cavalry. 5 of them. You see our strength is going up. Shows our defense value, how many squads we have. And here's our funds, 3,200 down here. 6, 7. We'll get a full unit of them. Well, a full unit is as many as you want. to put in, I think. There can be hundreds upon hundreds of units in a battle with all sorts of effects flying. Let's get some foot soldiers. We're down to 1,400. Let's get more fire mages. A few more cavalry. Another foot soldier and 3 more fire mages. There we go. So that's everybody. We have 50 funds left. It's everybody we can recruit right now. So let's click 7 squads out of 12 that we can have, I guess. 35, 37 is our strength. Let's go ahead and click N down here. And it shows upkeep and earnings and income and how many territories we control. Our unit count looks like 40 or 43. It's kind of hard to read. Max level up to 2, along with some other stuff we'll get into. So let's hit end as we were instructed. Wow, we really have to go down for that. End the player's turn. Good, you successfully recruited troops. Incidentally, that panel in the lower right that has end written on it is known as the Rulers panel. This panel will be accessible to you when you're on the continent map screen like we are now. See the continent behind us? Aching out for unification and a firm rule? You can do a lot of things from the Rulers panel befitting a ruler, but we'll get to them in due time. Recruiting troops was easy enough this time, but there's something you have to keep in mind. Each unit can only be recruited to certain branches, and squads of each branch can only be used by certain factions. For example, during the main game, only the Reynold Empire can use units belonging to the Imperial Footmen and Imperial Cavalry branches. Now that you've built up at least one squad, you're ready to move them to a different area. I'll bring up a place to move to, and that place is Valtir Mine. The historically poor labor conditions have led to a miners' revolt that needs quelling. What kind of leader would allow things to get that way? You better move your squad to nip this in the bud. Actually, nothing is happening there right now, but that's a scenario that could happen, you know. So let's practice moving squads in case it does. So now we're going to move Agnes and her squad to Valtir Mine and end the turn. Again, it's easy. There's only 4 steps. Click an area where some of your units are stationed. That's Imperial Capital Ortigia, where Agnes is stationed in this case. Click on where you want to move the unit. That would be Valtir Mine in this case. Drag and drop the unit you want to move into the target's territory window you open during step 2. You can drag units by right-clicking on them and then holding as you move the mouse to drag them around. You can move all units in a territory at once by dragging and dropping the all in the upper right corner of the territory window. Alright, so let's open this. There's the all. We can move these around as well. Let's open Valtir Mine. And if we just right click all, we've got everybody. Drop them at the mine. 6 squads moved. Oh, I guess can we not move him? Unit cannot enter this. It is just like a foot soldier. Yeah, just a regular foot soldier. Weird though. I haven't had that happen. Alright. Okay, we dropped them in the window. And let's hit end turn again, I think. You move the squad. As an aside, you can click the X in the corner of a window to close it. Great if they're getting in your way. Now you know how to recruit units, build squads, and move them to other territories. You have the basics down. So it's time to talk about battle. Now let's move to the battlefield. So this is the battlefield. It's a real-time combat system through trial and error. Pretty cool soundtrack. This is the battlefield. Well, a field. But a battle could happen in a place like this. Anyway, this will be a good chance to get acquainted with various terrain types. For example, mountain, river, forest, and desert. Different units are affected in different ways by different terrain, so make sure you know their movement types. It'll be easy for you to grasp by doing it yourself. So let's have you move a squad. Can you see that tree? Let's move your squad there. Battles take place in real time, so don't walk off for a tea break and expect to come back to find your squad in one piece. Although, I don't expect that tree will put up much of a fight. But you never know. Okay, so let's get started with moving a squad. There's 2 steps. Selecting a unit you want to move. The former will give you command over one specific unit, whereas the latter will give you command over an entire squad of units. Oh, I accidentally double-clicked. But you'll see that commanding a single unit and a squad of units is really not that different. Move 2, moving the selected units. Once you've selected a unit or squad of units, you can move them to where you want by right-clicking on the spot where you want them to go. Okay, select the icon in the bottom left by clicking on it. Right-click anywhere to move units to that location. So we can also drag like this. By the way, you can also left-click and drag to create a box around your units. Drag the box over multiple units to select multiple units at once. Alternatively, you can select all your units at once by clicking the far left button on the lower left panel marked All. Okay, so that's the very basics of selecting and moving units down. Incidentally, that panel on the lower left you saw is known as the Unit Selection panel. You don't get a prize for knowing what it's for. Sorry. You might have also noticed that in addition to the squad and all icons, the Unit Selection panel also has red and blue buttons. The red button allows you to select all your forward or F squads, and the blue button allows you to select all your rear or B squads. Forward squads stand as the vanguard of your front line, great for getting in close and personal, whereas rear squads make up your rear guard and typically excel at ranged combat. That said, you can change whether any given squad is treated as a forward or rear squad to suit your strategy, but we'll leave the specifics of that for another time. So down here we can oh, what did I click? I have no idea what I clicked. If you feel your units are taking a long time to travel, you can speed up time. There may be times when you have your hands full, even at real time, but if you aren't overburdened, speeding things up can improve the tempo of the battle. Press Z to make combat go as fast as possible. Click the mouse wheel or press spacebar to pause the battle, allowing you to issue commands at your own pace. Remember this and you won't panic right out of the gate. You'll be able to keep your composure even with the enemy barreling down on you. I don't know what I clicked. Skills will be used in standard order. I'm clicking different things. I don't know. But anyway, the unit selection panel, there's the red and blue buttons. But when I click, for some reason, I click the spear. It's kind of hard when you can't click directly. Standard tech needs to be used automatically. Oh. So yeah, 1 second, guys. Be right back. Whoops. Okay, we're going to switch to... 1 second. Alright, so we're going to switch to this view, which is where it just says Play Lost Technology. No specific resolution. So let's just bounce ahead a little bit here. I had to redo everything. We left three units behind this time. Alright, so now anywhere we click is right on point. And we can right click and you can see the different movement. You know, we can look at each individual unit and see how fast they move. You can also left click to drag. This is where we left off. Now doing this, we'll get into that as well, but let's go over to that tree. Agnes herself hovers. Alright, so you might have noticed not all your units are moving at the same speed. Let me explain unit movement speed. Movement speed will vary depending upon the terrain and the unit's movement type. Imperial foot soldiers and fire mages, for example, have a normal movement type, so they're slower on certain terrain but faster in cities. By contrast, Imperial Cavalry are plains units, meaning they are faster on plains but extremely slow in watery areas. In fact, several units become slower in water. While you won't command them in the Reinhold scenario, there are also marsh-type units. They won't slow down in watery terrain and will be faster on sea terrain. Finally, units of certain movement types aren't affected by terrain at all. For example, Agnes's float type allows her to glide over everything. Keeping these types in mind can help leave you free to attack an enemy that is unable to close into attacking range on you. Difference in movement speed can help or hinder the flow of battle, so it's critical you keep a movement type in mind. So, we're gonna head over to the tree. If you feel your units are taking a long time to travel, you can speed up time. Press Z, mouse wheel or spacebar to pause. I don't really like speeding up stuff. There's our red and blue buttons over here too, and they're over here. And then we can select each individual squad, which we have 4 of. There's all. Another way to do it. So let's just get over to this tree. There's Agnes. She's throwing resistance ups, I think. We can see exactly what she's doing, like in her stats panel. Okay, so you successfully arrived at your destination. You have the basics of unit selection and movement down. Of course, you aren't going to win battles simply by parading around and looking magnificent. This is war. You'll have to attack your enemies. With that in mind, let's move on to using skills. Do you see that boulder? We'll treat that as an enemy, so it'll be your sparring partner. What's that look for? I hear boulders are fearsome opponents if you get on their bad side. Anyway, units will typically attack enemies automatically as they come into range, so move your squads closer. Okay, fair enough. And they're going to attack. There goes some fire from the fire mages. And ice. They've begun attacking. Just like that, when an enemy enters the attack range of your unit's skills, they'll attack. Did you notice how each unit is using different skills and attacks? There are several kinds of skills, from close range attacks to rushing attacks, skills to buff stats, skills to reinforce units, and more. Once you're accustomed to battle, you'll find you'll want to use certain skills over others depending on the situation. If this happens, you can select skills you want the units to use from the selection panel in the lower left that appears above the unit selection panel. This panel is known as the War panel and includes all the commands you might want to issue to your units as they wage war. You can order units to use particular skills by left-clicking the relevant skill icons. Conversely, you can order your units not to use certain skills by right-clicking the relevant skill icons. And you can allow them to use those skills again by right-clicking the relevant icons again. Now then, get a feel for allowing and ruling out certain skills by using the boulder as an opponent. Okay, so there's technique healing, heal buff power, spear, let's use spear, let's use sword, but let's rule out fire magic, okay, and then ice magic from these units, which became standard, and we can even Imperial Staff, use that. What if we rule out ice magic? They kind of just stand back, and of course, you might not always want to pick and choose each and every skill yourself. Sometimes a general strategy, such as using only long-range attacks or using only special skills, is what's called for. That's where presets come in. You can select presets such as fight or special from the War panel, but we'll get into the specifics of those presets later. This is all you have to know for now. Are you following everything so far? So far we've covered unit selection, unit movement, and attacking a target with your units. But in a real battle, you might want to aim at a specific spot rather than just waiting for a target to come into your attacking range. For example, if you want to stifle an enemy advance by clogging a choke point with covering fire. So now I'll teach you how to assign an arbitrary target for an attack. That is, how to lay down fire on a spot where there may not be yet any enemy target. It's actually really simple. Just select some units as you normally would and left click where you want them to aim. A marker will appear and units will aim in that direction. Oh, so if we select all and we right click these off again to use them, and we click here, oh, that's pretty cool. Good, it looks like you have a handle on assigning an arbitrary target. But it's easy to get a little too gung-ho and assign a target you didn't mean to. Fortunately, you can undo any rash commands with a double click. Oh, lovely. Oh, okay, so... Cool. Okay, to recap, we've covered selecting units, moving units, attacking and skill selection, and just now, assigning arbitrary targets. Well then, let's finish up here. Lastly, we'll cover withdrawing. Sometimes there are battles you just can't win. Escaping with your unit's lives is nothing to be ashamed of. By clicking Run in the upper right of the War panel, any currently selected units will begin withdrawing. This is useful when you're worried about losing units. Select all units and withdraw. Select all and run. Withdraw the selected units. Whoa, what happened here? Once you've chosen run, you cannot cancel. Unit speed increases, but you'll not be able to use any skills, and they'll begin to flee to the edge of the screen. When all units who received the withdrawal order have reached the edge of the field, they'll successfully withdraw. Units will move faster when withdrawing as they are running for their life depends on it. But they can't attack while they are running away, and they can still be hurt or killed until they have safely evacuated the battlefield. So be sure to tactically size up whether to withdraw earlier rather than late. Better safe than sorry. How was it? Once you're used to it, battles will go smoothly. Or they will, provided you have excellent comrades leading your squads. But didn't we already recruit some comrades, you ask? No, see, there are two distinct types of units. Your run-of-the-mill nameless soldiers are troops, whereas comrades are people whose names are worth knowing and often influential in the story, such as Agnes. Most comrades will be better than troops even if they are the same class and level. They also won't die if their HP falls to 0 in battle, although they will take an experience penalty. Recruiting comrades is also a little more complicated than recruiting troops. As with troops, you only have to worry about which squad branches your faction can recruit to. Whereas with comrades, the time limits on who you can recruit depend upon the unit you want to recruit with. Different units can employ comrades of different races and classes. So let's recruit some wandering comrades. To employ wandering comrades, first click Comrade on the Rulers panel. The recruit window should then be open. Place your cursor over Agnes in the window and recruit the displayed unit Balder. Okay, so we select Recruit. Oh, I thought it was Comrade. Recruit. There's Balder and there's Elsa at a human level 7 snow mage. Wanderer. 1 second, guys, I have to stretch out my leg a little bit. Alright, and Balder at the Volunteer Mine is a level 8 fire mage. Cool. And we'll get into those stats and stuff as we start the campaign. Looks like he has a lot of skills. If I click it, place your cursor over Agnes. Oh, I can't click and look at his skills more in depth, though, before choosing him, I think. Maybe there's a way. Let's click Agnes. Recruit as Agnes all territory. Okay, Balder. I was the top of my graduating class at the Imperial Academy of Magic. Assign Balder. You successfully recruited an ally. Now recruit the comrade unit Elsa in the same way. But take note, Agnes can't recruit her like she did Baldur. Elsa is an ice mage and can only be recruited by Baldur at the moment. Click the refresh button in the upper left of the window. Baldur will be added to the recruiting side, so place the cursor over Baldur and you'll notice Elsa appears for him to recruit. What does Baldur have that Agnes doesn't anyway? Oh well, let's use him to recruit Elsa where Agnes can't. Okay, so we hit refresh, we've got Baldur, and Agnes shows up. She costs 300. We have 6750. I'm going to become the very best mage in the world. Cool, unique artwork. Signed Elsa, and that's how you recruit comrades. In the main game, wandering comrades are always moving, so it's best to click comrade each turn to check who's in your territory. That's all. End the turn. Alright, very good. Now we can go and check their unique stats and stuff. But there may be another way to look. I don't know. Let's hit end. I'm going to hit my water bottle, guys. Please bear with me. Units under level 5 receive training. Total 55 units. Paid 100 in upkeep. Lastly, let's invade some territory and take it over. Here comes the invasion target. Fort Margarifter. Never imagined I'd be helping someone invade it. Sorry, it just reminded me of something that happened a long time ago. To invade the territory, right-click on the target territory. Remember, left-clicking brings up the territory window, which is useful seeing who's there. But for invasions into foreign territories, you need to right-click. Left-click on one of your own territories to see which units are theirs that you'd want to deploy in the invasion. Drag and drop the units to the target's window. Click the deploy button in the upper left of the window. Remember to do this, as unlike simply moving, nothing will happen if you end the turn without clicking this. This is the final exercise. Oh, I'm almost proud of you. Since we're on a new turn, take the time to check for comrades to recruit again, as there could be strong ones wandering about. Okay, so just come down here to recruit. Theodore and Diethard, or Dietard. Okay, Agnes can recruit them. Wow, 1800. Level 5 Imperial Cavalry. Theodore. If I just click him, it's going to recruit him, right? Will not serve as their former master Diethard is roaming or in a different faction. 100 affinity with the Agnes Empire's master, 100 best, 0 worst. So we should get Diethard first. Or will not serve as their former master Diethard is roaming or in a different faction. I don't get that. Will they not serve if Diethard is selected? Diethard looks way more wicked. Level 15. And he's charging a lot more. But his stats are nowhere near as good as Diethard. Well, let's see what happens if we grab Diethard. I wish we could look. Like I said, there might be a way, but let's just get Diethard. I'll work hard to earn my pay. Assign Diethard. And I guess we'll get Theodore as well. Mind if I take the general's head myself? Alright, very good. Refresh. Cool. Now, it says to right-click. What if we left-click? Oh, it just shows all their units. We can check their units more closely. It looks like they have foot soldiers. Wow. Ice mages, fire mages. Looks like cavalry, a bunch of cavalry level 10. Defense, strength is 12,000. Wow. And we have to right-click. Attacking Fort Margarifter. Wait. I have to click. I have to bring up our homies, which we have a bunch, and right click. Wait, I don't get it. Oh, move that to the side. Select all of these peeps. At Valtier and everybody at the castle. Huh. Did not take the level 15 homie. Or the level 5 homie. Cannot deploy squads with what? With units that have acted. Okay, so we have to end the turn first. Let's just do that so I can deploy them. End the turn, nothing will happen if I don't click deploy. Units under 7 receive training, 69 units. Pay 200 in upkeep. Okay. Now we can try that again. Wait. Right click. Now we can bring all the homies here. And then all the homies from Volunteer Mine. And everybody going. Wow. And our strength. We don't see it here. See it like here. 8,700. 900. Pretty close to what their strength is. Let's go, son. Attacking Fort Margarifter. Confirm. Boom. Whoa. Just some parting advice. Do you remember me mentioning presets on the war panel? First press Sue on the war panel. This summon preset will use summon skills to call more soldiers to your side. There's a limit to how many you can call though. Oh, and don't forget about the tech preset. This will make your units use special moves if they have any. Special moves can be used a limited number of times, so be sure not to waste your chances. Well then, I think we've covered all the basics: recruiting troops and comrades, selecting and moving units in battle, and attacking and withdrawing. The future of the continent is in your hands now. Good luck. I'd much rather have stayed behind and worked on my research. Okay, so let's select all, tech, Sue, and get into it. Bong bong. People are talking. Wow. Cool, I can't be. Oh, Agnes is not happy. Agnes has withdrawn from battle. Oh, are we getting crushed? Wow, we got wrecked. I think. Yeah, we have no choice but to retreat. We got wrecked. Huh, I guess that was just meant to be. All the level 10 cavalry and stuff. Run. Guys. Oh, they can't run, they're surrounded. Pretty wild. Neutral faction is victorious. Alright, so that is the tutorial, guys. So let's see what happens. It looks like we lost all those units, okay? Just the tutorial, though. And it's about 38 minutes, so I want to wrap it up here. And say that, yeah, we're going to be playing this a bit and getting into the story. Now, if you want to play this and mess around with weapons, armor, and items and stuff, you would try the Dungeon Master, which is kind of similar to this. You recruit, you know, much the same way, recruit different units, different comrades and stuff like that, but you're only going to be going one place, and it has 100 floors. And each floor is like a tactical map like we just saw. Defeat all the enemies, collect loot. Also, there's a lot going on underneath the hood, like that you don't see. That's kind of secret type stuff. Like for some reason, in a lot of JRPGs that are like this one, like back then, even today, they have a lot of unique kind of secret features that they don't really tell you about that are acting, like different synergies and stuff. Like apparently, if you select a faction and you have the right comrades join you at the right level, you'll unlock new skills for yourself and the comrades and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on, but definitely we know enough to play the game. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let me know if you guys want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do want to see more and you enjoyed this video and what this game will bring, then please like, comment, subscribe before heading out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Lets me know that you're interested, and thus I will get into the story mode. We'll select a faction. There's a lot of different races and stuff that we can play as. Very cool stuff. And there's very cool cutscenes and story bits. So stay tuned for that. And thank you again for joining me. If you guys want to help out the channel in a big way, you can become members either here on YouTube or on patreon.com/fluent. Feel free to look into that if you're interested. If not, that's cool too. But I will see you guys either way in the next video. So don't go anywhere. Much more fun to be had. And we'll be playing some Lost Technology, maybe even both modes, story and dungeon diver mode. So we'll see. But until next time, guys, be well, live well, stay well, and much love, peace, and joy. Be well, and I'll see you guys then. Ciao for now.